So I had a segue. There are two other big films that happened this month. Sorry to cut you off.
It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll hold it against you later.
During this period of time, Geena Davis had just divorced her husband Jeff Goldblum, who she had starred in 3 films with. Earth Girls Are Easy was the last one. She had done The Fly with him. So she, I believe, would not marry him yet, but Rennie Harlin directed a film that I just mentioned, won the weekend in its second week, Die Hard 2. And it's just funny that they ended up together for a little while. But I don't know if you want to discuss Die Hard 2 for a little bit, Corey?
Yeah, Die Hard 2 actually came out relatively quick turnaround after Die Hard 1.
Like 2 years
I
ago.
know in totality, I feel like people think of this as a really inferior sequel, but before we got 4 and 5, I thought this was better than 3 in my mind. Even because at least in this movie, John McClane keeps acknowledging, how could the same thing happen to the same guy twice? So they know that they're treading in sequelitis a bit, but
Yeah.
it's different enough from the first movie that it stands on its own. And Rennie Harlan is just a virtuoso with these action scenes. There's a really tense scene that sometimes I rewatch over and over again when McClane's in the cockpit of a plane and they're tossing grenades in, and he's got a quick think of a way to get out, so he has to pull the ejection lever. That is so like white knuckle. And the movie's filled with stuff like that. And actually, it brings back a couple of the characters from the previous movies, like Bonnie Bedelia comes back as his wife. Al Powell has a small little cameo, and William Atherton comes back as the asshole reporter.
Yeah, just because they're still working together, right?
Yeah.
Or they happen to be on the plane. They work together, right? I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh, well, William Atherton?
Yeah, I forget they're co-workers, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah, he was just reporting on the first events.
Yeah, in the first movie, he's just the one that almost endangers their children by going to interview them.
They make it feel organic since they're sitting on the plane together, though.
Right.
They happen to, and they're like, we were involved, sort of, in this crazy event.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, they do some kind of daring. The hero fails halfway through the movie to save a plane full of passengers, which actually ups the ante a little bit more on the villains. So yeah, I really like the second movie. I don't know how you guys feel.
And I know a lot of films did this since and probably a little bit before, but like they have John Amos turncoat a little, and you don't quite predict it. You think they're on his side because of how Reggie Van Johnson did in the first film. You trust the cops because he helped Bruce Willis in the first film.
Yeah.
So it's good that they have John Amos betray him, so that then you want to trust Dennis Franz. He's more of Reginald Van Johnson.
Dennis Franz is a great heel in this.
So good.
You always have somebody who's the opposition to McClane, and he's great in this.
Justin,
because he's constantly wrong.
Yeah. What's your favorite Die Hard? Did you like this one? Have you seen this one?
I don't know. All the Die Hard movies for me are a bit foggy, except for the
look at Jeff over there.
There he is.
Yeah.
That's my contribution.
Yeah. No, actually, you know what? It's weird that I've seen the ending for like the first two. For sure, so I know how they end, but like the bits and pieces from
survives.
the bits and pieces from like the beginning and the middle is really foggy for me. But like the third Die Hard movie with Samuel L. Jackson,
it's the best one.
Yeah, that one's my favorite. I love that one because that one was on reruns all the time on TV. So like I saw that one the most.
We'll get to that in 5 years.
And then like the newer ones, they're all right.
Yeah, the fourth one I liked because I liked Timothy Olyphant. But it's not something you want to revisit necessarily. It's not as good as the first one. I think it's still decent. But I haven't even seen the fifth one.
The chemistry between
Justin Long.
Yeah, Justin Long and Bruce Willis. It's all right.
He's no Reginald Van Johnson.
It's before Bruce Willis officially checked out mentally from that series.
Yeah. Well, he checked out in life. And,
that was just a paycheck for him, that movie.
I wonder if it's because the impetus for when he starts fading is when his divorce between him and Demi Moore happens. And that brings me to our
Maybe.
film. Another film, one that won the weekend. It did not get first because Die Hard was on top. Ghost came in second at the box.
Oh, is that why they-
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so they're top of the charts right there. I forget when they actually got together. Was it before this?
It was before this.
They did a movie together.
They did Mortal Thoughts together.
Yeah, that's before this. So
yeah.
So they're the king and queen of the box office in July, and then Bill Murray's like the Joker out of the way. So, so Ghost, I wanted to have as our feature for this month, but quick change as we're doing hidden gems from now on, pretty much makes a lot more sense. Ghost was a big film nominated for Best Picture. Stars Demi Moore as the girlfriend of Patrick Swayze, who is killed in a random act of violence. He's just sort of mugged. And the neatest thing is that it's funny you were talking about parodies before we started the podcast. Jerry Zucker is the director of this. It's the last person you would think would have a touching romantic drama.
Yeah, it's a very straight movie.
There you go. There's the infamous, they're forming you, Jeff.
Yeah.
You're
the
I am the pottery.
So there's that obviously they showed their chemistry in that scene, and you really believe their relationship there. And so when he dies, he comes back as a ghost. And I know they've done ghost movies before, like the Heaven Can Wait sort of thing.
Ghost
this, last week, last month. So it's not a new thing per se, but the way they do it is so genius. With Oda Mae Brown, they have Whoopi Goldberg as a medium who is grifting people and just pretending she can see the dead when she starts seeing Patrick Swayze. And so he tries to communicate back to Demi Moore through her. And it's just, I think it was one of the films I watched over and over again because it was on TV as a kid. And it's just become one of my favorite films in general.
It also spurred a musical.
Wait, you saw it as a kid and loved it?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I agree with him because it's unabashedly schmaltzy.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah, I think it's all Whoopi Goldberg for me. She won an Oscar for this, and there's no doubt about this.
She is phenomenal in the movie.
Yeah.
Because she has to go from being incorrigible to sincere.
Yeah.
And it's a good trajectory for the character. And Tony Goldwyn, who knew he could play a great villain?
Yeah.
And Vincent
MGM essentially.
And Vincent Scavelli.
Yeah, Vincent Scavelli has a great cameo because Patrick Swayze.
He's one of those character actors that has such an unorthodox look to him that he can only play villainous henchman roles, and they utilize that perfectly in this.
He's great in Death to Smoochie, his last role.
Yeah, I love that.
But he shows Patrick Swayze in the subway how to move things.
He can manipulate things from beyond the grave.
You know how like when a door creaks open and stuff, it's supposed to be a ghost. He like teaches Swayze how to mentally move a cup.
That's so
weird.
I say I remember that.
It's the best scene in the movie.
The only thing that doesn't date well in the movie.
That's like one of the few things I remember.
I think it's more iconic than this pottery thing.
The only thing that doesn't date well in the movie is the look of the ghosts.
Yeah, I mean the glow around them is kind of
the ethereal ghost in the movie that take people down to hell. I guess they want to be demons, I guess you would call them.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I rewatched it recently with my dad just because it was again on TV.
It's a pretty gruesome death at the end.
Tony Goldwyn gets the pane of glass through himself.
Yeah.
I think when I was a kid, I used to have dreams about like these shadow wolves coming to get me. And it's definitely from ghosts because they kind of look like they're shadow wolves dragging them down to hell. So I realized I probably shouldn't have watched this as a kid.
Yeah.
No.
It both thrilled me and frightened me. So definitely one of my favorite movies. But those were the two that were dominating in July. And we wanted to highlight one of the undersung gems of the film of the month. So they're both good. I think
the cool thing is right now Jeff is making pottery.
Yeah.
Just to tie into this.
Yeah.
Yep.
What else? What else came out this month, though, Corey?
Well, this is a great segue because you were talking about Die Hard 2. Rennie Harlan had another movie come out this month.
Mm,
Can you believe that?
really?
Yeah, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane,
I didn't know he did that.
the Andrew Dice Clay starring vehicle.
Uh,
Now, if you don't like Andrew Dice Clay, this is not going to be for your taste. I, however, think Andrew Dice Clay is very funny. And it's almost like a noir detective story with Dice. And yeah, he plays a misogynistic, chauvinistic asshole in the movie, but that's his shtick. And actually, they lampoon it a bit in the movie. So I actually think it's worth checking out. I would have almost suggested this, but I know nobody would have enjoyed it as much as I did. But I would recommend people check it out. Now, a movie that Tristan just saw, Arachnophobia, also opened this month.
yep, I'd wanted to check it out in case we did this for our focused film, and then I tried to get Jimmy to watch it. He refused. He's just not.
Yeah.
I'm not a spider guy. No.
So,
It's funny because I don't really have a phobia of spiders, but they have some really inventive shots of upping the creep factor. Like there's close-ups of the spider's eyes, especially towards the end in the barn
and
and
it's
the
real
climax.
spiders for the most part.
And it's not entirely trying to be scary for the most part. It's very tongue-in-cheek as well, especially with the John Goodman character who plays the exterminator.
Also very smart with the Jeff Daniels. He's the star performance. He's like a small town doctor or he's a big city doctor who's come to a small town to like just.
He's Doc Hollywood.
Yeah, and he's kind of sardonic because he's like already fed up as soon as he gets there, and so it's not quite a dark humor, but he's got like an edge to him, and it's really clever.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing is that they lay out to get the spiders to move in front of the camera. They laid out what sugar on both sides of the path they needed to go, and the spiders won't go towards sugar, so that's how it goes straight where they want it to go.
Okay.
That was kind of interesting.
I think this is also directed by Frank Marshall, who's normally a producer.
Yeah.
He produced a lot of. I think he produced Jurassic Park.
Yes, and this was like his not dream movie, but he got it as one of the things he wanted to then veer into directing, I believe. And he never really got a directing career, but this is a good one.
Yeah, he also did Congo.
Yes, which not as good.
How dare you? It's a guilty pleasure. It's fun. Thank you, Jimmy. It's fun.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
We'll see you in '95 when we talk.
Yeah, it's fun.
Maybe I'll read.
That's going to be the one we highlight.
I haven't seen it since '95. So
What?
Why would I?
Ugly woman. Ugly woman.
Well, that film started the trend of every character that was my favorite dying, and you didn't expect it. So
Who's your favorite character?
Like,
not Ernie Hudson?
No, the best friend that ended up being George Clooney's best friend.
Oh, I thought he was going to say Bruce Campbell.
Grant Hesloff. He's like
Bruce Campbell dies at the very beginning.
He's Bill Paxton's assistant, and he runs into the cave, and he has.
That's your favorite character?
Yes.
He's so vanilla in the movie. He's given nothing to do.
I was 9. I didn't know any better.
Well, we'll see how you feel when you rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm
Come
sure.
to your senses.
Yeah, right. But yeah, then I could look at a movie and be like, "That guy's gonna die. That guy's gonna die." My parents would be like, "No," and then he would die. And it was like 5 films straight.
It's the worst kind of gift.
I know. I hated it.
And then we went to film school, and it made it so much worse.
Yeah.
Since we were talking about parody movies in a way, a movie that came out this month was called The Freshman, which is Marlon Brando not doing a parody, but kind of sending up his Godfather persona. And it's actually a very charming little film. Andrew Bregman. They reference the Godfather. They're like, he looks so much like him. A couple of times in the movie, him and Matthew Broderick have really good chemistry. It's an effervescent little comedy. I recommend people go see it.
That was our second choice for this, actually. I think in the end.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, there's a bunch of movies we could have picked out of this. I really like Presumed Innocence that came out this month. It's a Harrison Ford movie. Alan J. Pakula, who's done a lot of like socio-political thrillers in his time.
Mhm.
All the President's Men, Clue, stuff like that.
Clue's
It's
great.
a courtroom drama that's very compelling and actually very unsettling too. But it's not something that would lend itself to a very sobering discussion. So
Yeah, it's a little dry.
yeah,
It's lesser Harrison Ford, but
I wouldn't even go there. I'd say it's a very good Harrison Ford
he's
movie,
still
but
so good. I don't think
it's not something you really discuss.
Sabrina. Yeah, it's like, did you like Presumed Innocent? Yes. And
Right. And there's 2 more movies that I had to watch for the podcast.
That's all
I
right.
suffer for you people, just so you know that.
You didn't have to watch them.
Yes, I did. Jetsons the movie came out. Now, Tristan and I have seen this, and apparently Jeff had a poster of it when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
For
And yet
20
he still
years,
hasn't seen
I woke up to the smiling faces of the Jetson family just staring at me.
It's just odd watching the movie because I'm thinking, why would they revive this series at this time? Because I don't know that there was a clamoring for fans to bring it back. And also they blend hand-drawn animation with a lot of CGI establishing shots, and it doesn't meld well at all.
Well, we were talking about this before the podcast. They kind of did some Looney Tunes stuff in the late 80s.
Yeah.
So I think they were thinking, like, Hanna-Barbera is like, what if we get into that?
And to me, the Jetsons to me was always an inferior space age version of the Flintstones, which in fact the Flintstones is basically just an animated The Honeymooners.
Yeah.
Well,
if you boil it down to the essentials.
Well, the Flintstones did come first. They were in
Flintstones.
black and white, and then they transitioned to color. Then they were like, "Oh, this formula works. Let's create the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Do like the complete opposite,
Improve
Stone
on.
Age, future."
Yeah, improve on the Flintstones.
No.
Yes.
Also, the weird thing is because they're trying to stay current with this movie, there's a lot of pop synth songs, and Jane, the daughter, is voiced by Tiffany, the pop singer.
Oh.
And she contributes a few songs to the soundtrack, all of which clash horribly with the whole movie. The movie's awful. It's probably one of the worst animated movies I've ever seen.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you like it, do you?
I don't remember it.
Okay.
I just like the Jetsons cartoon.
It does a disservice even to that mediocre show.
Wow.
And then also coming out this month was Navy SEALs.
Very good.
Basically a recruitment film for buds. And it has Charlie Sheen, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton,
Aliens reunion.
Dennis Haysbert. So yeah, there's a lot of notable actors in this. And boy, it's as cheesy as you can get. This is even worse than Top Gun in terms of that.
Do they get shirtless and play volleyball?
No, but there is a montage. It's not even as cutely homoerotic as that. This has them playing golf at one point, a golf montage, which could you get more bland? And of course, Charlie Sheen throughout the whole movie is saying one-liners before he kills the terrorist, which, by the way, the movie's huge on Islamophobia. I'll get to that in a second.
Oh boy.
But
you don't need to.
We'll get to it.
Oh man.
Because there's a part where they're sieging a village and there's explosive canisters on one side. This is almost like a video game. And he tosses a grenade. He's like, I guess they should have paid their gas bill. Right before he blows up some terrorists. It's horrible. And I guess they're supposed to be charmingly reckless in the movie, but everything they do come off as these really irresponsible, immature frat boys. At one point, they go into a guy's bar after one of their teammates has died, and they basically take it over and harass and terrorize everybody, set the bar on fire, and this is supposed to be amusing. At another point, Charlie Sheen basically takes this reporter that Michael Biehn's having dinner with, and he keeps talking about the Middle Eastern people as ragheads, and how I guess it was weird for you to grow up in a whole village full of wetbacks. And then immediately after that, he's trying to take her home, pulls over to the side with romantic music playing in his van, takes her out to the beach and tries to sexually assault her. Again, this is one of the heroes of the film.
I'm so glad we didn't choose this as our...
Okay. So
Oh, boy.
the only thing I will give this movie credit for is that they don't. I thought, having not read the synopsis, that Charlie Sheen was going to be the rookie that was going to have to go through training.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, we're going to have to sit through training montages and all these sequences. They're already an established team at the beginning. So thank God they don't do that.
Oh, thank God there's something good in this.
It's something. But beyond that, the movie's awful.
Yeah, I never want to see it.
So the only redeeming thing was the beginning of the movie. It started,
Ah.
and that's when it went downhill.
Yeah.
Ron Howard should have passed on this one. Yeah. So I don't think you have anything else. I think we
No,
can
that's all.
do our favorite segment, Poster Boy.
We actually have 2 posters we want to talk
Already.
about.
Yeah. All right.
Me and my
Oh yeah, I have the alternate version at the end. So let's see. There we go.
Okay.
So describe the poster for our listeners.
All right. So there's some dorky looking kid sitting on top of a washing machine with a cat inside, with the parents uneasily looking on from either side of the poster. And this kid is like young Sheldon before young Sheldon. He's got like an Argyle sweater vest and a bow tie and
Yeah, Tucker Carlson bow tie.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The parents aren't too concerned about that cat. They're just like, he's getting in more trouble.
It's just like, oh, he's boys will be boys.
Is that a calico kitten?
Is that?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that is John Ritter.
Oh wow.
Good eye.
Very
That's good.
well.
That's good. The artist rendering, yeah.
Yeah, it does say it at the bottom, but I did not expect you to read that.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't look at those.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't know how to read.
It's a very flattering John Ritter. I can't recognize the mom though, but
I don't know who it was.
yeah. So there's.
Oh, I know who that is.
She's not in the.
And this kid is looking like really happy with himself, like he trapped the cat on his own, and it's just like, look at me, I'm future serial killer. And this cat is like flipping around, and he's got the most horrified look on his face. Oh, and this is all painted, by the way. It's not like this is an actual picture. This is like
weirdly enough, the cat looks more cartoonish than the people.
It's very Norman Rockwell meets Jigsaw in a sense. Like it's very weird.
Not wrong.
So I'll give you your first chance. What do you think this is called?
Okay, we're doing title. It's not That Darn Cat. I know that much.
That's later in the 90s.
Oh God. All right. Let me try to guess the synopsis first.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Yeah.
And then
I'll give you the.
Will work itself out.
The tagline I have bullet points for you to read.
I'm guessing this kid's a troublemaker, but he doesn't seem like it. He's just letting out. He's just a real awkward kid, who his parents buy him a pet.
His parents are in a bad situation.
It's just two parents deal with a bad situation, and so they buy him a pet, and he and the pet don't get along at first, and it's just sort of like this what's the thing from Animaniacs with the little girl and the dog.
Oh, Myra?
Yeah. No, yeah, the little girl.
Yeah, that's Tiny Toons.
Oh, I mixed them up. They're the same company, so.
Right. So it's kind of like that situation where like he's supposed to look after the cat and then he's not doing too great a job because the cat's in the washing machine.
All right. Here,
okay,
I'll reveal the tagline and you read as I reveal, okay?
Okay. So
Ready?
Okay. Tagline.
Wait for it.
Attila the Hun.
Great tagline, actually.
Al Capone. They were all 7 once. Okay.
That gave it to you, right?
Okay, hang on. Oh my God. Baby mobsters. No. Elementary. Youth in revolt. Domestic terror.
Oh God. I feel like you're floundering a bit. Do you want us to just?
Oh,
give it-
I'm definitely floundering, but I'm
You
just supposed to see
got-
how close I can get here.
You got pretty close on the synopsis, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
He essentially said the title by the
Well, let me hang on. Does the cat talk?
No,
No.
the cat's
No.
just in the poster, as far as I know.
Okay. I have no idea. I'm
All right, I'll give you the title.
Problem Child.
Now, have you ever heard of this movie, Jeff?
Nope.
Okay, good. We weren't sure.
No.
Have you
This
heard
is
of the
a little
cartoon
popular.
show that
It's like-
came out afterwards?
It seems like it's just a knockoff of Dennis the Menace, but like darker.
Yep. Basically.
In a
This
way,
is TV,
more
though.
scatological for sure.
Oh. And
So the woman over there is Amy Yazbeck,
Oh, John.
who is
Ritter.
actually John Ritter's widow.
At the time. of life.
I don't know if they were married yet by that
You know,
point. I think they
no.
met on the movie.
Oh, maybe. I just knew they were together by the time she's in Wings, and then he's doing his 10 things or 10 rules for dating, or 8 rules or whatever. So,
Yeah.
So for 15 years they were married at least.
is that hang on? Michael Richards and Gilbert Gottfried were in this?
Yeah,
Yes, they were.
I can explain that. Um,
Why do you need?
Michael Richards. Okay, so the plot of the movie is they're a couple. They want to. John Ritter more so wants to have kids. She's reluctant. So they end up adopting a kid, which is Junior here. And he's a problem child. So he's basically like Macaulay Culkin in The Good Son.
Mm-hmm.
He's up to all sorts of mischief, although he's not throwing Mr. Happy over a freeway interpass or anything. See, I thought this one you might get, this poster. Have you ever seen this poster? Do you know what's a parody of?
I've never seen it, but I'm assuming The Exorcist.
No. Have you ever seen Parenthood with Steve Martin?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Steve Martin is basically the Junior character, and that's holding 2 kids.
Okay.
So he's holding up 2 kids in the original Parenthood poster, and in this he's holding up
Yeah.
John Ritter and Amy Yazbeck.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Kiddies. So
I
for
got
the listeners. So
Yeah.
all right.
So yeah, they adopt Junior. Michael Richards plays a prison escapee who winds up at the house and starts to ruin John Ritter's life because he basically cuckolds him and goes off with Amy Yazbeck. And then Junior emulates him because he wants to be a criminal too. So he loses his family. Towards the end, John Ritter goes off on an alcoholic binge.
I want to see this.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Gilbert Gottfried plays a social worker who,
Okay, now I need to see this.
yeah, or he might work for the adoption agency. I forget which, but he's the one that they get Junior from. And Jack Ward plays John Ritter's father. Weird bit of casting. Weirder than that is, did you happen to see who the screenwriters were?
No, I didn't.
Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski
Who would go on a few years later
to do Ed Wood and Man on the Moon
Take an
and all
Oscar.
these very highly touted biopics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird that they started off with this really pubescent, juvenile, horrible movie.
Yeah.
And it had a sequel.
It did, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll go into
It
it.
had
much.
2 sequels. And
There's a
television-
made-for-TV third one. Yes.
Yeah.
Really? I don't remember that.
And Gilbert comes back for that. He's the only returning cast member.
Which is unnecessary. And then it's kind of like Home Alone before Home Alone comes out later this year.
Right.
I like to imagine that Gilbert Gottfried is just like the guy from Gremlins that like deals the Gremlins, but he's just dealing like terrible adopted children.
Yeah.
He just returns as an adoption agent, like a comedy version of The Omen.
Well, that's Poster Boy. Right?
Yeah.
So We have one last thing to get through, and I think, given that one of our films this month was Die Hard 2, I have a question to pose to all of you. What's your favorite Christmas film?
How couldn't you narrow it down to like a certain subcategory of Christmas film? Like a dark Christmas film?
Well, then we're gonna have very specific.
Because I could have a recommendation that ties into that.
We'll all say Die Hard if
A
that's
pick of the month, I could.
Yeah. So I think that if we go with all broad Christmas, because the next episode is going to come out New Year's Day. This is December. You're probably listening to it. So I figured any Christmas is game. And is this putting you too much on the spot?
Can we do top 3?
Sure.
Yeah, one's tough.
I already have that in my head.
Yeah, I know. I bet I know what yours is actually. Can I guess?
Sure. Yeah. Guess my top 3 Christmas movies.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Never seen it.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life.
Either of them. That's number 2.
Okay. Gremlins.
Mm-mm. Good though.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorites are more traditional.
I was gonna say Charlie Brown. That's a Christmas special, so I guess that doesn't
I would count it though, because like Grinch and Rudolph and Charlie Brown, even though they're like short, frosty, they count as Christmas movies for people that watch them around this time.
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Never seen it. I want to go through the Ernest movies after you guys lauded him the other day, and I always like.
He's a brilliant actor.
I think you should do an Ernest special.
Yeah.
Ooh, can we do that actually?
Yeah.
Vote below if you want us to do that, because I really want to do that.
Yeah.
At some point in the future, we'll do an Ernest special.
We're gonna do an Ernest retrospective.
Okay, so top 3 Christmas movies.
Do they have to be revolving around Christmas, or could they be set during Christmas?
Whatever you consider a Christmas movie.
Like everybody says, Die Hard might be a Christmas movie, right?
It is. There's no debate.
Yeah, it is. What he said, no debate.
Yeah, because I would put Die Hard in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, definitely A Christmas Story.
Makes sense. Ralphie.
Because that movie like became a part of my DNA because I looked like Peter Billingsley as a kid.
Have
like
you
I still do, kind of.
Picture, Corey, of him dressed in the bunny outfit?
Yeah.
Was it your grandmother that got it for you, or your aunt, or something?
That'd be funny if he could bring it up right now as his background.
No, I'm gonna try to find. I don't have a picture in the bunny outfit, but like, actually no, it's on my Facebook, which I have right now. But there was we were at my uncle's house in Texas for Thanksgiving, and they were watching A Christmas Story on this giant TV in the living room, and like at the moment in the movie when he walks in with the bunny suit, I apparently walked into the room at the same time, and my entire family, like their light bulbs went off, and my life was over from that moment on because everyone just realized, oh my God, it's Ralphie. And even like my teachers started calling me that. There are kids that I went to school with that still know me as Ralphie, and it was just this. It became my life, and so I just sort of accepted it.
And you and Tristan met because you stuck your tongue to a pole.
Pretty much, yeah.
That
was more or less what happened. And so it was funny because when Christmas Story musical came out, I'm like, I was literally born to play the narrator. Like I need to do this whenever theater decides to come back. I would love to do that. But anyway, Christmas Story, other than that, it's a classic movie. And like it came out in July. It was terrible. And there was a sequel to that like
A Summer Story. Right?
Oh yeah, it was like All in the Family or something. It like takes place in the summer. It was terrible.
Mm-hmm. I think the original novel's A Summer Story, and they called it All in the Family or something.
I think Charles Grodin's in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which we'll get to eventually, I think. I think it's 95.
Well, we're not covering it, I hope.
All right. So Christmas Story, Rudolph, the animated one, the claymation one.
Play
And
animated, buddy. Stop motion to be specific.
you're right. I'm sorry. Stop
Stop
motion.
claymation.
Stop motion. I apologize.
There you go.
Animator.
How dare you?
Think of the word.
So-
I mean,
And also, I'm partial to the Santa Claus. With
Oh, ooh,
Tim
Yeah.
Allen.
ooh, that's a good one.
Great film.
Okay. Die Hard. This will throw you for a loop, maybe. Home Alone 2.
Oh,
I just preferred Home Alone 2.
you think that trumps the first one?
what? What did you just say?
Dude. Yeah, I always preferred Home Alone 2. I thought it's funnier.
I think they're both fine.
Plus, as a kid, I liked that it was more violent.
I like the Pigeon Lady, so I can't fault you for that, honestly.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go Jeff. I'll say Santa Claus.
So you didn't guess the other two, by the way. I have number 3. I was going to go with Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh,
The best Muppet movie, honestly, because they
Honestly, the best Scrooge, too.
yeah.
Ironically enough.
Mother,
Um,
I was gonna say that for one of mine.
and then number
Wow.
1 is White Christmas. Can't get enough of that. I'm a classic guy, so
Well, of course you would want White Christmas. Racist.
snow is only white.
also honorable
Maybe
mention,
yellow.
Rare Exports.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I just saw that a couple years ago. Brad and I watched it. Loved it.
Yeah, good movie. Jeff forced that on us, but it was worth it.
Oh, well, just as a side note, since I don't know if we're going to do picks of the month, but here's a Christmas movie to recommend for you. Fat Man with Mel Gibson.
Well, there you go. There's your number 4, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This is
Jimmy,
the month, by the way.
So,
That's what we're
is it
doing.
my turn?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
So, since
Sorry.
you're already set, it,
He's excited.
Scrooged. The
Scrooge
Santa
is
Claus,
great.
Tim,
He was just saying Michael Caine is the best Scrooge.
yeah. I mean, yeah, true.
So he didn't
Yeah.
jump on your.
Yeah, all right, but still though, Scrooged.
I love Scrooge.
another
The
Bill
Santa
Murray
Claus
classic.
with
Tim Allen.
The
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. There we
Yeah,
go.
we were talking about it.
Yeah, and then also, of course,
Aha.
What is this? What is this?
yes, I do have a marionette.
It
That's
hangs
amazing.
year round on his
Yeah.
door.
It never leaves. It's always on my door. at
I
all
hate that movie.
James, can you describe that for the people listening at home that are
Yeah.
not looking at
Also,
It's,
by the
it's
way,
a Jack Skellington.
by the
movie.
way, for the viewers and listeners, I never went through my emo phase, so like, I don't understand why I like this.
He's still going through his email.
Yeah,
I
it
know
is-
why.
I love.
Yeah,
I-
it's a good film.
But it's
I was thinking about rewatching it. I haven't seen it in years.
it's a classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would also go with Lethal Weapon. I like Batman Returns. I'm thinking of rewatching soon. Like, these are not your typical Christmas movies, but we went off the rails on that top 3.
Yeah.
I like Ice Harvest.
Because that's the thing, like Christmas movies are the ultimate genre that you like. We could all do like doctoral theses on
Yeah.
Christmas movies, and that's why you can't narrow it down.
Yeah.
Because there's also like 70 years worth.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. So that's our.
I just love Christmas movies. I'll watch Christmas movies all year round because they make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Cute.
You feel cold.
Which we need right now. Oh yeah, cold. Too. Well, only the ones with snow. But
Yeah, I think those are all good choices. So yeah. So that's our podcast on Quick Change. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe. We'll be on YouTube and Stitcher and iTunes and Spotify and everywhere else you can get your podcasts. Next month, we're not 100% sure on what we're going to do, but I have a decent idea. So we'll let you know in our post. So thanks, everybody.
toodles.
Arrivederci.
You did that last.
And